The amount of options and features you get with Stable Diffusion is overwhelming even for professionals, and most tutorials explain how to do certain things, not when or why you need them. In this video, I will try to explain some of the challenges you face when editing images with Stable Diffusion and how to address these problems using the tools and features of Stable Diffusion. Let's say we have an image of a person, and I generated this image of a person here using Stable Diffusion and ConfigUI. And I see there is an artifact here, and I want to get rid of the artifact, but I want to keep the entire layout of the image. I just want to remove this person and get a different person in the same room. Now this image, like all the images generated by Stable Diffusion, is generated out of randomness, total randomness. We start with an empty latent image here, and we add noise to that image, some random noise, and Stable Diffusion starts clearing the noise in a certain way. It does its inference thing, and it generates this image. Now we don't want to generate the entire image. We want to generate only the person in this image. The tool to do that is a mask. We want to limit the randomness of Stable Diffusion, to impose a limit on that randomness to a certain area of the image, and that is what we call a mask. That's the mask technology. Since we want to modify parts of this image, the first thing we do is we start by loading this image. So I will double click and use the node load image, and from here I think this is the image that I wanted. To use masking, that we do right click and we click open in mask editor, and here in the mask editor I can draw a shadow in the image. So I can do like this. It's okay if you leave it a little, if you extended the mask a little bit outside the target area, because we will do a resampling later and fix these anomalies. When we add some areas here, we give the model some freedom to work. So now I can save this to the node. Now I want to use this image as a latent image. The node I would use is VAE, encode for inpainting. And I put the image here, the mask here, and the decoding comes from the model. Now I have marked the area that I want the Stable Diffusion to draw, and I want to change this prompt black woman with brown hair setting. The result will not be satisfactory, and we will see the problem and how to fix that problem. And you see that we got something similar to what we used to have, but the head is cut and it's not working well. Now I have a fixed prompt. If I randomize the prompt, I will get also some non-working, non-acceptable images as well. You see, we still get problems. For example, the head is cut in this area here. And no matter what we do, if we keep drawing in this mask without modifying the prompt, we will not get the target image. But what I want is to get a similar image to this in the same pose, but with a black woman. So the way to do that is to influence the prompt, to change the prompt in a way that it would understand what I want. And for that, we use a ControlNet. Notice that these nodes are not used anymore, so I can get rid of them. And here I can apply a ControlNet. Apply ControlNet Advanced. So for the ControlNet, I need a positive and a negative prompt, and the ControlNet itself and the image. The image would be the same image here, but we will need to process it. We need to a control node that processes the pose. We have the open pose provider, so I can send this image here to the open pose, and the open pose will detect the pose of the target here. And for this, we need a positive and a negative prompt. So we bring the positive and the negative prompt here. And we also need a ControlNet. So I load the OpenPose ControlNet. I am getting the input prompt from the ControlNet. And the ControlNet I am using is the OpenPose ControlNet. And it takes the pose from this image, from the input image here. Now you see what we got. We got a similar image. It looks a lot better than the two previous images we got. This one is a lot better, and it does not have the artifact here in this area, but it still has some problems that we need to fix with the post-processing. Let's try to generate a different image now and see if the new image would get the same pose that we had in the previous image. Now this is a lot better. So we see that we want to limit the randomness of the image with a mask, and we want to organize the randomness of the generated image with a ControlNet. Now we need to fix these areas here around the mask. So for that, simple sampler, not an advanced sampler, because I want to control the denoising. And the latent comes here. I'll bring the positive and the negative not from the ControlNet. I want them from the original in conditioning, model conditioning. And the model comes from here. And this is lightning. So 4 steps, DPM++, SDE, and Keras. I want to randomize the seed, and instead of decoding the result of the first sampler, I want to decode the result of the second sampler. And here I want to change this to 50%, so 0.5. You will see that we will not get the desired result now. So we did not get the desired result. I know we will not get it because we still have the mask applied in the input image. So we got a distorted image because we asked the sampler to change 50% of this area here, and the result was not satisfactory. What we need now is to remove the mask from the image and to let the model work on this entire image, on the entire image. So that's why we need a new node called remove noise, remove noise mask. So we pass the latent here and via this node. Now we can remove the mask and try again, and let's see what we get. The result is not good also because I did not change the CFG value. So I'll bring it to 2, bring it down to 2, and this one is fixed. I want a random image also, and let's try again. So this is the final image, and if I open it and zoom in, you see we got a good image. I don't think this is bad. I don't see any anomalies. Even in the hair looks fine. And we maintained the image, the pose, we maintained everything. This is how we use control nets and masks in ConfigUI. Now, off camera, I tried to play with this field here, return with leftover noise, to disable it and try to get rid of removing the noise mask, but it did not work. The resulting images were not satisfactory. You see, I even got like distorted images. So I returned to the original image that we generated. I want to say that there are different types of control nets. Some of them work on the depth of objects in the image. Some of them work on colors. Some of them use the pose as we have seen here, and you choose the control net that you want for your for what you need. Here I wanted to influence the pose of the woman that I am generating. This open pose comes from a custom node that is called ConfigUI ControlNet auxiliary nodes, I think. And in the article, you will see a link to the repository where you can see how to download and install it. A quick recap: we use masks like this mask here, to limit the areas that the model has the right to touch. We use ControlNet to influence the prompt that we are giving to the model. We have multiple ways of influencing the prompt. We can either use a ControlNet with a special model like what we used here, the open pose, or we can use the image plus the image prompt adapter, and I have made a video about that I will link in the video description.